What's up everybody, Coach Mills here, and in this video we're going to talk about Season 3 and how it has fundamentally changed Overwatch 2 forever. It fixed many of the key problems with balance, added new content, and many good changes to the game, but also have made some really bad ones and problems that are just seemingly not fixed. So we're going to break down all of it about Season 3, but do me a huge solid and smash that like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We're almost to 50,000 subs, and let's jump right in. So we got a good, a bad, and an ugly, starting off with the good. Let's talk about the good. And the first thing is content. And the new map is actually really nice. And it's more like 3 maps in 1. And I actually like each of the maps. I understand it's going to take some getting used to, but honestly, some of these maps remind me of some classic FPS maps, and I actually like them, and yeah, they are pretty well made. Now, I finally played my first freaking new Bonnie game after it's been bugged for quite some time, and it's actually been a breath of fresh air just kind of experiencing these maps again, but I'm super excited for no more map pools coming in the next season. Now, apart from that, the cosmetics to the battle pass to the new mode like Overwatch and, of course, workshop mode finally coming back. I mean, there's just a lot more content in Overwatch right now, and it feels good. Like, Overwatch feels pretty good content-wise. Even though we didn't get a new hero in this season, the game still feels pretty fresh. Let's move on to the balance. And honestly, the balance is pretty good, at least compared to Season 2 of Overwatch 2. Because, one, the meta is not solved yet, and it's looking like even if the meta eventually becomes solved, there are certain characters that are just better on certain maps and modes with mobility. And there's powerful characters that both poke, brawl, and have mobility. So it's actually pretty nice, and we're not just seeing like a completely solved dominant meta right from the get-go, and we're also seeing a lot less frustrating situations like getting perma-hooked by a goddamn hog, and less Sojourns flying around just able to completely dominate a game in general. There's more diversity right now than I think I have seen in all of Overwatch 2 up to this point. And of course, the longer we stay on this patch and the more high rank plays it, the meta will get solved, quote unquote, at some point, but the longer that takes, the better. And also, if there is some amount of map variations, then that's like best case scenario. And really, the meta feels kind of fresh right now. You can play just about whatever you want to and still find success in the vast majority of ranks, which is kind of crazy to think about. And while I definitely don't think that Blizzard has buffed or nerfed characters in the direction that the community has wanted, most notably like with Mercy and several other characters, I do think that they have somehow backdoored their way into a decent Overwatch meta, which is a little bit crazy, and I don't actually know how to think about it at this point. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, at least balance-wise, with Overwatch at this point. I feel way more free to kind of choose what I want when I want, as opposed to before, where I felt like I was just throwing by not picking a couple of select things. By far the most important thing is that they've gotten rid of a lot of the more frustrating aspects of the meta. I know that there are still frustrating characters and interactions that exist, of course, but it's not like every game. So yeah, I think that that's a good thing. Now, I've talked a lot about the positives, but let's talk about the biggest negative, and this one's huge, and it all comes down to the matchmaking. I understand that they have now added it to where the roles have to match, right? The tanks have to match with the other tank. The DPS has to match with the other DPS, right? If there's a Master's DPS on one team, there has to be a Master's DPS on the other team. If there's a Master's tank on one team, there has to be a Master's tank on the other team. And this is supposed to make things more balanced. There's going to be less of a tank gap, right? But the problem is, and this is a really big problem, is we're still having huge variances in the inter ranks on the team. And what I mean by that is a tank and a support can be on the same team and can be vastly different ranks, way too much, to the point where it's just completely ridiculous. As an example of mine, I did my support grind last stream and I'm Masters 1 right now, and I got placed with a platinum on my team in the tanking category. This person was like mid-plat, and he was plat the season before, and he was plat the season before that in Overwatch 2. So unless some weird situation is going on where his MMR is somehow much higher than it shows, I'm playing with someone on my team that is not even like 5 ranks below me. He's like 13 ranks below me, individual, from Masters 1 all the way to Plat 3, and that means that the other tank on the enemy team is the same. So why is this lobby even in existence? Like, what does that, what the hell? That lobby has to be like a baseline diamond, like 3K lobby, right? Like a diamond, mid-diamond lobby, and it's pulling people from crazy high and crazy low ranks. And maybe the MMR system's messed up. I don't know, because Blizzard wants to hide everything. And I think that this whole hiding thing also is creating a lot of problems, because people don't know what rank they're playing in. People are going up against people that have old MMR or new MMR or hidden MMR, and it's just causing a lot of confusion. No one really knows what's going on in ranked, and things feel completely out of whack still, even though matching roles should have fixed it. And I really do think that they should heavily tighten how far away ranks can even be in together. Like, if I can't queue with you in my game, if I can't duo with you and play with you because our ranks are too far apart, we should not be in the same game. I'm not entirely sure why Blizzard has decided to basically stick to the complete lack of transparency, to stick to this current rank system, because I think that the whole idea behind it, right, is to reduce frustration, because people are frustrated seeing their rank go up and down when you lose or win a game, like the old Overwatch 1 system. You win one, you go up a rank, you lose one, you go down a rank. It's making people less frustrated, right? But this new system is just making people frustrated in other ways. No one really knows where they are, and there's way too many big circumstances where MMR is super far away from a shown rank because people haven't played those 5 to actually rank you up and out. And there are also weird situations where you have a really high MMR and you play 5, and let's say you lose like the majority of them. You won't change rank, but then you play another 5 and you win the majority of them and you rank up 3 times. At this point, I have no idea what to think about the rank system. And don't get me wrong, I'm still having a lot of fun grinding Overwatch. It's just I have to kind of take some of these random games on the chin and just be like, it's whatever. We just got to go again, because it just doesn't feel like right a lot of the time. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know how else to put it, but I wonder if a lot of you are experiencing these same problems, because this is my biggest complaint. A lot of people are still having these inconsistencies in ranked, these really imbalanced teams, or players will be put in one game that is way above their rank. Like the average of both teams is way, way, way higher, and then the next game, they're playing way, way, way lower. And I'm not even just talking like a rank. I'm talking a huge chunk, just like my example. And yeah, I don't really know what's going on. This lack of transparency is killing me. And yeah, that's pretty much the only big complaint I have right now with Overwatch 2, because I do think that the balance is actually pretty good, surprisingly enough. The content is flowing, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with Overwatch, all things considered. But yeah, let me know how you feel about this ranked matchmaking problem. Do you think it's a problem? Do you think it's just people are confused? Let me know how you feel about all of it down below, and smash that like, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you next time.